Hi, this is Renee with Metal In Metal Out. Today I got the guitarist Nick from the band Virvum. How you doing today?
Good, thanks.
Excellent. Y'all are a little bit off seas, coming from Zurich, Switzerland. How's the tour been treating you so far in the States?
Pretty much incredible so far.
Yeah.
We're 2 weeks in now, and the shows have been packed mostly.
Yeah. Is this your first time to the U.S.?
It is our second time.
Second
to the
time,
US.
okay.
We were here in 17.
Okay.
That was like a smaller run, but just for a first experience, that one was good as well. Yeah.
Very cool, very cool. So I'm assuming you enjoyed that first time around, so had to come back.
Definitely, it's our target audience.
Yeah.
It's our target market is in the US mainly.
Is it very?
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. So is it that in the bill that you're on, you kind of fit in perfectly with the rest of the bands that are playing tonight? So that's a good thing too, as opposed to having a mix and they're like, you come out, they're like, what's going on?
Definitely, I think it's a good mixture of bands that are pretty much in your face kind of tech.
Yes.
And even some like breakdown stuff like Virvum, like Wormhole does.
Yeah.
I think we fit in quite well. Like Inferi and us are more on the like like elevating kind of side of things. Like we don't have that much energy to bring into it, but it's more like something it's like from an artistic perspective.
And that's what when I was listening to your album, I did hear a different type of love. It's just not like full face, shredding the whole time. You're able to kind of mix in some different elements and slow things down and still make it moody and heavy during that writing process. So is it? Are you one of the main writers, or does everybody contribute?
For the first album, I pretty much did it by myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. How long was that? Like a
it was like a 5 year, 6 year long period.
Oh, okay, so a labor of love.
yeah. I had to. There were tough times with the band. Tougher times with the band where I really had to push my ideas forward rather than taking someone else's ideas.
Yeah.
But in the end, that worked out for that album. So.
Right. Because when it came out,
nobody's complaining at this stage anymore.
Yeah, exactly. When it came out, everybody's like, "Wow!" They were very impressed, for this debut album. Which, I mean, it's got to feel good when you put out something that you've been working on for so long that everybody's very accepting of it.
Definitely.
Yeah. Were you surprised at how well it was received?
I didn't. To be honest, I didn't care much about that because I just wanted to have something that pleases me.
Yeah.
In particular, so I wanted to have this product that I could personally go back to and music that I would like to listen to, and I think that's what we made it to be in the end. So, and of course, I mean the reactions of the people who are into this type of music.
Right.
That was very much incredible, but also it didn't happen, from one day to the other. It usually takes like maybe 2-3 years until you hit your entire target audience.
Right.
Maybe. So it's still, we're seeing people here who have never heard of us, and they come to see us, and they come up to us after the show, and they be like, "Yeah, that was an experience, guys."
Right.
Thank you.
And that's funny that you mentioned it because 2016 is when that album came out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So since then, have you been writing slowly, or are you gonna kind of wait till you get to the studio?
It's a constant, like whenever I'm home, I have a day job back home, so all my free time is basically the band. So working on new stuff, just composing mainly. So writing on software basically, and also jamming out new stuff on guitar. That's always been my job since the album came out. So I'm constantly working on new stuff. The thing is, I'm very slow, and that is because I'm not easy to satisfy.
Yeah.
So I'm very harsh with myself. Like I delete most of the stuff I write.
Really? You don't even keep it as a backup or nothing? Wow.
No. If it's not good enough, it's not good enough.
Yeah. Well, that's good though, because then you know that when you put out the music or an album that you're completely satisfied with it.
Definitely, that was the case, and that's also, I mean, we had been a band 10 years before the album came out. I mean, the singer and I, Brian, the singer and I, we have been, making music together for what is now like 13 years.
Oh, okay.
So even like 10 years before that album got released, and it really took that long to be written and recorded. And
You know, as a trend, you know, when I talk to different bands, that seems to be about the time frame when people start to recognize bands, like anywhere from like 8 and on years of being a band and kind of putting in the time where, okay, now we know who this person is or that band is.
Yeah, man, if you ask any person in the like that has a fair knowledge of like what this industry, what direction it goes, it's always got to be like, hey, your band, you know, you have to do it for at least 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the way. That's what we're still doing it.
Right.
But it's getting rarer and rarer that bands, you know, they just pop up out of the blue, because it's just harder, I guess, to make a to create a product that is still surprising to people, or that still draws people's attention.
Especially when now we have the internet and people are putting out like all this stuff in music, and here you go,
it's like
take
factory,
this.
It's like factoring.
So it's hard for people to weed out quality music and good music and get rid of, like, okay, this is just noise. It's like, now I found something that I like. And one thing that I thought was interesting, and I was going to bring up too, is that this is your market. So back hometown in Zurich, the scene is not as great.
Well, you compare a country the size of maybe a smaller American state to the whole so that's not even a fair comparison. But
well, say like in one city to another.
I mean, of course we have some good reactions in Europe too. Especially now we came from a tour with the Black Dahlia Murder.
Oh, okay.
With them for like a week. And we had some very good shows there too. Like, it's not that it's any different. It's just there's way more people here who want to come out and see us, because we're here only maybe once every 2 years.
Right, so, I see what you're saying. And that's funny that you bring that up, because I was just talking to somebody earlier about there's some bands that just, like, if you miss them like this week or this month, like, you'll just see them next week or next month.
Yeah, we have this. I mean, I guess it's the same thing the other way around. Like when American bands tour Europe, they come back maybe once a year, maybe once every 2 years. So people tend to go out to their shows way more often than if, you know, it's this local Swiss band. It's just playing here and there every other weekend.
Right. And talking about writing music, is it, you know, how do you, other than, you know, not being satisfied with the product, how do you feel like you try to keep things fresh when you're writing what you're trying to create?
I kind of don't know most of the time. Most of the time it's time. That it really is just a matter of time that you put in to make yourself, like, if I don't like a certain part that I wrote or something, and I want to keep it and I want to make it, like, I want to improve it, make it better, there's no like clear solution to that. Like, there's not a specific way I would proceed to do that. It's just I go over it the next day, and I go over it the next day after that again. And maybe I leave it for a month and then return to it and still try to improve it. And it's, for me, it's a matter of time, and sometimes it's also a matter of what inspires you, like what movies you watch, what other music you listen to, but only rarely.
So for you, what would you say would be maybe the top 2 or 3 bands that when you were young that says, I want to do exactly what they're doing?
One of them is certainly not hard to point out. There's Necrophagus. Like, Epitaph by Necrophagus is outerworldly. Like, I can still to this day go back to this album all the time, and I find new stuff, like new little things that I haven't noticed before, like all the time, in just those 8 songs that are on that. So that's certainly one of my personal favorite records. In terms of metal, I maybe Old Children of Bodom, maybe Older Winter Sun, and next to that, for the most part of the last couple of years, I haven't been invested in metal that much anymore.
Oh, no?
Like I tend towards like post rock.
Okay.
Maybe some like electronic music as well, like synth and all that.
Yeah.
Because that, for me, post rock is the exact opposite to like tech death or metal in general.
Yeah.
Because we talk about songwriting, like we talk about how structured a song must be, you know, part A, part B, part C, part D, and so on, and that it has a flow and a repetition and maybe a chorus that is returning.
Right.
And post-rock or electronic music, that those styles, they don't really define those rules for the music to be good.
Really?
It's more about like, what does it make you feel when you listen to it? Like a song can be 15 minutes long, and it you know, it can pull you into the deepest depths of your soul, and it has no structure at all.
Yeah.
And that's definitely.
Yeah. So is that, would you say that's something that you try to bring into when you're how you're trying?
Well, try hard.
Yeah. And that's why it takes you a bit to write.
Definitely.
Very cool. So Nick, you know, we're kind of coming to the conclusion of our interview.
Sure.
Anything for fans in the States? Will you be back later on during this year now that you got the visa currently? I think they last for about a year.
Yes.
Yeah. So anything else that you got coming up? Any festivals that you'll be playing this year?
We do a bunch of like single-off shows and festivals in Europe this summer. And then, and next to that, and until the end of the year, I'll be focusing on a new record for sure. When that's coming out or when we'll be recording it, no idea.
Right, when you're happy with it.
Yeah, when I'm happy with the compositions.
Yeah.
And last thing I want to say is thanks to our American fans, especially for checking out the shows,
Of course.
supporting all those bands on this tour. It's been a great run.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Nick. I appreciate it.